Okay, guys. So, wow, what a difference a week makes. Last week we were doing this at a reasonable hour in Cabo. It was light out. I had 18 people sitting behind me and had a great group on the call. We always have a really, really good Zoom call. So I just want to hear from you guys before we jump into the Cabo thing. What's been going on? Tell me. Give me something good. Who wants to share with us what's been going on lately? Besides us being in Cabo. Brad, introduce your our newest member to the group today.
So this is, my beautiful little daughter, Naya. She's just turned 8 months old this month. So she's a handful, but she's okay. She's actually a really good baby. She doesn't really fuss too much, sleeps through the night, and she's ready for her mommy fit class in about an hour with my wife.
That's really cool.
With the virtual screen, how her head comes in view and disappears.
and then it's gone. And then it's definitely gone. Who else wants to share something that's going on? Grady, what's going on with you?
I'm going out showing this afternoon, so I'm going to be prepping and getting ready to take a client out this afternoon, and I'll be out. It'll be a late night for me.
So what are you showing?
I'm showing a bunch of different houses. This guy is coming in from Dubai, and his daughter is going to Dallas Baptist University, and so I'll be showing him some houses that he wants to buy. Him and his wife. Yeah.
Hey, that's my alma mater.
Oh, is that right? Cool. Good.
Yeah, I got my undergrad and my graduate master's there.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
So how'd you get them as a client?
It was referred to me from somebody in the fire group. Yeah, they referred him. So
relationships.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. That's what a lot of Cabo was about. So
yeah. I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah, I have to tell you guys, I want to do a whole thing one day just on culture, because it's like nails on a chalkboard to me when I hear about how we don't have culture. When you go to these events, when you sit on our Zoom meetings, when you interact in any of the groups, it is not like anything I've ever experienced. I've been in other companies that have culture, and it's been great. I've loved it, but I'm telling you, we kick it up to a whole nother notch. And I would say to you, if you haven't experienced it, if you're just sitting back in your house and you're on the cloud or whatever, if you haven't been to an event, go to the regional events. You can get involved. They're very inexpensive. There's so much excitement going on in this country with this company all over the world. Actually, I don't know if you know, but Brent has been doing builds. He wanted to make them open to more people. So he has been doing builds. He broke it down to have them all over the world. South Africa is already sold out before any other build event out there. But make it your year to go and go sit in a regional rally or go to a build event. Bring a friend. It'll give you the boost that you need, even if you think you don't need a boost. So I want to jump right in because there's so many things to share with. And I'm going to go to Clark. Good morning, Clark. Tell us again where you're from, who you are.
Yeah, it's a small little town up in Northern California called Lincoln. And in fact, we had Brent's grand opening of his office last night, and I'm in that same office, and it was phenomenal. I mean, hundreds of people went through that office. It's beautiful. about, 8,000 square feet, all restoration hardware quality. I mean, just really beautiful place. And have spotlights, food, band, it's music, lots of good stuff. But it was good.
So just quickly, when people think we're a cloud brokerage and now you're talking about an office, explain how that works.
Well, I think each individual's now, obviously, the size of Brent's business determines the size of his office too. His global
Right.
operations run out of it. So it's an
Oh,
8,000 square
okay.
foot office. So, but he runs, he has business in 50 states and 24 countries. So he runs a whole global operations out of there. And so we have about 17 offices in there. A lot of people, are participating in the office. Sure, EXP is in the cloud, but individuals, and Brent will tell you, you don't have to have a hub, you don't have to have an office. It's certainly Gene Fredericks doesn't, I mean, it's just whatever that person's choice is. But I've always kind of run out of an office. I rented a place in Regis, in the same Regis that Brent rented his before we opened up our new office. It's just I have an office in my home. I'm in my home this morning. But it's good from a recruitment standpoint of view. It's good to operate out of, but it's not necessary. So I hope that explains it.
That did. So I'm really excited to have you up first on this. And again, thank you so much for getting up and doing this. Clark is like
No
a
problem.
busy. He brought guests to Cabo. I mean, this guy gets a private meeting in Brent's room with 30 of his closest friends. But you went to Cabo and then we went to Hawaii together, and that's where I met you.
Yeah.
So first explain, why would you do two events? I do because it's part of my job, which
Yeah.
so
I just never miss an event. I think that it's a momentum builder. Obviously, we need to recharge ourselves because the real estate business, obviously, it's very easy to get caught up in your own thing and put a lot of hours in. And what this does, it refreshes you, gives around the collaboration. And every business I've built, I've built from event to event. Because the culture, the 30 people we brought to Cabo, where are they going to get that culture? Where are they going to get, you were just talking about culture. Where are they going to get what they get there? You can't give it to people individually. We call it in the businesses I've been involved, we call it meeting magic. You get them around the people. Major decisions are made on major weekends. My goodness, the people sharing from stage just energize you, give you belief. Let you know that, hey, if you're going through struggles, everybody goes through struggles, but what's on the other side of those struggles is victory and success. And we just need to recharge ourselves. But bringing because we brought several of them were new people. We brought them into that environment to see that, and now they're energized. And the whole idea when you bring somebody into the culture, bring somebody into a real estate business or business you're working on. Point A is when they get started. Point B is when they really start building it. Getting a person from point A to point B, there's nothing more effective than an event. I mean, you could be sitting there, talking to them. Hey, let's set goals. Let's get some things going. But they may not do much. And then all of a sudden at a major function, they're motivated themselves. They see the big picture for themselves. They see what their possible future could be like. And all of a sudden, they're getting together with you. Hey, let's set some goals. Let's put an action plan in place and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, and it's just so effective. So if I could give some advice from years of building networks, and that is build event to event. I think the best KPI, key performance indicator or scorecard is your growth from event to event, because it's a people business. And even though we talk real estate principles, we talk some production, we talk some agent traction, it's about people. And one of the comments that was made, and I think maybe came from Glenn, or not Glenn, but from maybe it was from Glenn, but Gene or Brent, and that is, EXP is a business built for humanity, for helping people, for extend, I guess that says it all. It's built for humanity. It's just we're people business, helping people, and just all the speakers were absolutely phenomenal.
So let's talk about that, because I was in the room and I think it was Glenn who said that.
Yeah.
A business made for humanity. Who's ever heard that before?
Yeah.
Especially in a real estate company. You never hear about anything like that. And I kind of went, it struck me. And I don't know about you, Clark, but it was like, wow, humanity. We're talking millions
Yeah.
of real estate agents out there. And getting into relationships is the key that everyone was talking about. And you're talking about building relationship from event to event, but building a relationship with your local agents from events, from broker tours, or going to their open houses,
Yeah.
or a co-broke that they're doing, and a phone call that you make afterwards. This is a game changer for humanity. And when you hear that, you kind of go, yeah, that's just a bunch of propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
And then you stop and pause for a minute. And Michael Valdez said it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There were so many great speakers up there, Kevin and Stacy. I mean, it was like crazy. I couldn't remember who said it. He did say it. Now I can see him saying it. And he's international growth. So it is something that I'm not sure that we think about. You know, I'm sitting here in Dana Point. Some of you are in Texas, Canada. We often look at things just in our world. And I believe, excuse me, my takeaway from the humanity thing was there's so many of us who create dreams for people to come true. Sometimes I think we just kind of walk away and not realize the big picture of the impact that our life has on other people. And when you step back and look at that, get your ego out of it, because this isn't about ego, this is about fact. And that was another thing that we talked about, Clark, and we'll go back to that more, the trials and the tribulations that everybody had. Everyone's ego was gone.
Yep.
So they were saying that you owe it to yourself, you owe it to humanity to talk about one of the largest professions in the world and how it could change people's lives. That was pretty powerful. Anybody else want to jump in on that humanity, and then we'll come back to Clark? How did that hit any of you that were there?
I just wanted to leverage off what you just said about ego and what Brent said, your ego is not your amigo.
Yep.
And that was beautiful. I mean, I was here, you know, check your ego at the door, and we all think that, but there's so many egos in our business that, you know, it is not your friend.
Great. And you could tell that with the people who are up on stage. So Clark, give us some more, because you feed into us. I love it.
Well, I just think the collaboration, you know, I mean, obviously, I just, you know, seeing Cabo through the new people who are there, you know, through their eyes, and just opening our eyes up to the most incredible network and community that I believe exists in real estate, where people open up their playbooks and are collaborating with each other. I mean, we have some new agents in Atlanta, Georgia. They connected with Tavon, I think her name is, who's shared from stage, and they connected. Now they're working together in Atlanta. They're all, you know, going to be working out of her office and everything like that in Atlanta. That's under, you know, Levi McDonald. And just, you know, I mean, you see all these connections being made all over the place, where, you know, not everybody's going to relate to me individually, but they'll relate to somebody there. And when you have a community like that, they're going to find somebody they relate to. There's going to be a speaker on stage that's going to relate to that person. Their story's going to impact that person. And, you know, and you just see, I mean, you see it through their eyes, you see their excitement, you see the fact that, hey, this is way bigger than they thought it was, and that they could have a way bigger life, you know, just personally and business wise and success than they could ever imagine, you know, without being there. But one of the
Go ahead, keep going.
I was gonna say one thing, we got a chance to be on the yacht with Brent and Gene and a whole bunch of really great people. And that was pretty amazing. I've been on yachts before, but this one was just special with the group of people there. We celebrated Brent's birthday on this 141-foot luxury yacht, and it was a lot of fun. And just going up and down, the Sea of Cortez, whales jumping all over the place. I mean, it was just one of those magical moments. And who would have ever thought when I first got my real estate license that in doing real estate that I'd be in that kind of environment, like kind of like the lifestyle of rich and famous, but not necessarily under, you know what I'm saying. It's just being around that quality of people that have impacted so many lives, and it just gives me a bigger picture every time.
And you know what's really great about that? This year I was not on it. I arrived a day later. The fact that everyone, I keep saying this, everyone deserves a seat at the table.
That's right.
This is not, Dee Dee's clapping down there. This is not the owner of the company who exclusively, takes out their leadership team or their franchise owners or all the people that make them big bucks. Like it's a responsibility to do that. This is an agent or two agents that rent this boat and that says, come and enjoy this. Now, there was a price tag on that one. Yeah. Sometimes there isn't. Brent is offering up a coaching program. It was $10,000 to get into it. But think about that. Some of you are paying $1,000 a month for coaching, or you're paying $750 a month for coaching. He wants to give back. And the whole thing about this is, in our world, I love this statement, in our world, pigs can fly.
Yeah.
That was up on stage. Because anything is possible. And I want to get you guys so excited about stuff that's going on. But anything is possible. And ask what opportunities this will provide for me. So maybe you don't have $10,000 to coach in, but you get to go into these rooms, you get to go to a regional event, and you get to hear some of the same speakers. So let's go back and talk about what other couple of ahas, and then I'm going to jump to a few other people, and we'll come back. I want everybody to kind of jump in. This just doesn't have to be, because I see Michelle sitting there. Good morning, Michelle.
Did you know that they have a flying pig marathon in Cincinnati?
No, I did not know that.
I just wanted you to know that Cincinnati's home to the flying pig. So see, we can, just put it out there.
Pigs can fly. Clark, what else did you want to say?
I just think that, you take tidbits from every speaker. And of course, Glenn was one of the very first speakers that came up and was interviewed. And when people see that environment and see the humble, how humble Glenn is, how smart he is, and how his heart is focused on us as agents. And, and one of the things that was said there, he's the only CEO of a major real estate company that was an active agent before. And that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. Because they're not talking from a corporate philosophy, from a corporate standpoint of view. They're talking from being in the field. And, and it's always quoted all the time, the most agent-centric company there is, which is totally true. And so I took notes on everything. I probably, 30, 40 pages of notes during the 3 days that the sessions were in. And, and if I could just impart a little bit of wisdom, and that is, we have build events coming up. And we have them, I think it's 8 different locations, 8 or 10 different locations. Find the one closest to you that you can bring people to. And I think the most important thing you could do for your business and for the growth of your future and impacting other people's lives is get people there. And I think it's well worth the investment to help people get there. I mean, you don't pay for the whole thing or anything like that, but any kind of incentive you can get people there, especially brand new people and people who are not even with EXP yet. I mean, if you bring them to that event, they're going to be with EXP. And I mean, the largest percentage of them, you know, that come there obviously get started. In fact, who is it? Somebody from stage says, well, how many, I think it was Brent said, how many people are actually getting started? No, maybe it was Gene. How many people are actually getting started after this? Every single person who was a guest there raised their hand, they're getting started. And so I think from a agent attraction standpoint of view and the culture that we bring them into, there's just, you know, nothing else like it that exists. And, you know, in fact, we have, I know Brent's going to be in Atlanta, you know, next couple of days for an event over there that Jocelyn put on. But, you know, we're connecting people with Brent. I mean, some brand new people there, some big influencers. I mean, where are you going to get somebody that I mean, as large as Brent is, large as Gene is, willing to help you, willing to get on a Zoom, willing to have coffee with a new agent that you're bringing in, or you know, an influencer that you're bringing in. I mean, I just have never seen that collaboration anywhere. But if I could give advice, lay out your goals. How many people you're going to bring personally to the next event, and how many people total in your organization? You set both goals, and how many new people are you going to bring personally? And I think if you focus your business around that, you know, it's going to grow. It's going to grow well.
I'm going to just piggyback on that a little bit too. We all look at this and, you know, short-term sacrifices for long-term goals.
Yeah.
Almost every speaker that got up there, and I don't know, someone did not tell me that this was going to be the crying event
Yeah, really.
of the year. The stories that were told are happening to everybody. You're not alone on this. And I think that's also the vulnerability that was shown, is be vulnerable. Be sensitive to other agents that you're talking to. Be sensitive to your clients' needs too, because we're not just a company about attraction, we're a company about production. But the same laws of humanity apply, whether you're talking to another agent or you're talking to a listing or you're talking to a buyer. You have no idea what's going on behind those smiles. You have no idea what kind of a day someone is actually having. And you have to think about this, and it applies to everybody. Life doesn't happen to you. Life happens for you. And Matt Smith talked about that. And one of the things I'm uber excited about is that almost every single, well, let me put it this way. Every speaker that I went up to and asked to be a guest on our Wake Up Wednesday was like humbled and said, you want to give me an hour on a call? You want me to pour into these people? So look for the lineup of people that are coming. But how many people walk around thinking, oh, this happened to me? You know, oh, that happened to me, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. That's not, it happens for you. And what are you doing with that opportunity of life that's happening for you? I mean, if you would have told me 9 years ago, 9 years ago, when my husband passed away, that I would be living in California, I would have all these amazing experiences. I would have conversations in an elevator or on a plane and build friendships. I'm a great people person, but I never would have believed in a million years that I could be the hero of my story. And that was another thing that came up, was be the hero of your story. Having the opportunity, I could have never gone anywhere after my husband passed away. Shit happens to all of us, guys. It's what we do with it. And out of diversity and out of challenges and out of grief and out of bankruptcies and divorce, molestation, I mean, there's a lot of crap that happens to people. And the theme of all of this is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to keep dragging? I talk about my dining room chairs, that I was dragging those dining room chairs cross country several times, hoping and praying that I could create the same story at my dining room table. And that's one of the things I got from this event was you don't need that anymore. You don't have to drag that stuff down. There's so much opportunity. Michelle, what came out of this? Where are we going in August? Let's talk about that.
Right.
Besides the retreat, where are we
Right.
going?
We're going on a cruise.
Going on a cruise. Guys,
Right.
and who can go on this cruise?
Right. Anybody can go on this cruise. And
So-
that's fun.
That's the fun. So Veronica Figuerella, who is a huge influencer with this company, her team is out of Orlando. She is doing a build event. And talk about making real estate fun again. She found a travel agent. She found a group rate. She's putting this all together. And we are leaving. I did see the Port Charlotte, Port Lucie. It's on the East Coast, whatever's close to Orlando. We're getting on a cruise and doing build on a cruise.
I mean, that's crazy. It is crazy. That's
It is
exciting.
crazy. What's crazier is that you and I are sharing a cabin together.
Yeah, I know. But where can you do that? Like, let's be real. Like, think about like just this company has a lot of fun. They know that like it's a very hard business that we're in, right? Like it's tough. But when you're making it fun and you have this collaboration and every time I go to another event, I just get more and more excited about the company. And like, Clark talking right now on this call, it just gets better and better and better and makes you feel like this is what I've been waiting for my whole career, this company.
You've been waiting your whole career for this company.
Yeah, I didn't know it, but now I do. Now I know it. I want to tell everybody about it. And I could not have said that like 2-3 years ago. I just had a totally different mindset. And it just makes me emotional and it makes me, every day I get up, I'm just so grateful that this company is here.
So can we go a little bit deeper into that? Because that's pretty amazing. Don't cry. It's too early in the morning. Your makeup's gonna be.
I cry a lot, but
We all cry a lot. So let's go a little bit deeper on that. Why is this company? What went off in your head that said, oh my gosh, this is the company. I've never felt like this before.
It's one word. It's authenticity of the leaders. They're authentic. They're real. They mean what they say. They genuinely care about people. You don't have to be, anybody special. I mean, everybody's special to them. And that's the difference. You don't get that at other companies. And I've been at a couple of them. And you can hear the words, but there's nothing behind them.
No substance, right?
Substance, unless you are in line with what they want. And that's not, you're okay, failing your way forward in this company because somebody else is going to be there to pick you up and to help, make you positive and be there for you. And that's from the top all the way, up every line. It's not just one family tree, it's multiple family trees. It's the leaders, it's Glenn, it's Jean, I'm texting with Jean and somebody else this week. Like they are all there. And you're not going to get that. You don't get that. And it's authentic.
So you're texting with Jean this week.
Yeah.
And Jean is on a family vacation in Breckenridge.
Correct.
He has entire family there. I know when some regional directors or, whatever owners went on vacation, it was vacation. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do that.
No, and he should, but that's the thing. The thing is that I know that he'll, and he just takes pride in that. And that's what he does. Like he lives a big life because he deserves to do that now, but he's still there for you. If you need, hey, I need some help. Like, who's this person? I'll send it right to you. And then, Lou, who's in my, one of his buddies, Lou grabbed a hold of something that I needed this week. And he's like a dog with a bone. He's like, I got this for you. Like, I'll get this
Lou's
done.
amazing. Lou and Deb are amazing.
No, and I'm like, I've not taken, you know, advantage of that all the time. And now I realize how much they are here for me, and everybody, it just blows me away. Yeah.
So you know, when you were saying that and the texting and the talking and all of this, is that we're not telling you not to take a vacation. But what I can say from, I don't like saying being in the inner circle, but being family with Gene and Susan and being dropped in that, where I live with them, vacation with them, they can't get rid of me. The key to that is that every one of his kids buy into what he's doing. That's the difference. If your family doesn't understand what you're doing and the impact that it will have on their life and the life of others, you need to have that conversation with them. Every single person on this call, their family deserves to know what you're doing. So when we talk about having authentic conversations, I challenge every one of you to have that conversation with your family first and get their buy-in. Because I never really explained to my husband or our friends when we went on vacation, excuse me, what I was doing. I didn't have their buy-in. And maybe it won't. Maybe it won't be 100% buy-in, but at least go back and get them excited too. And Susan gets frustrated. I mean, she does. She rolls her eyes, you know. It gets very tiring when Gene's taking a million pictures, or, you know, Brent's trying to have a dinner with. That does happen to everyone. But when the family buys into what you're doing and they understand that, hey, sometimes I'm going to have to take a call, that's huge too. What else did you get, Michelle?
I mean, honestly, there were some newer people, some people that had come, you know, that hadn't been there before, because I had gone last year. And I love watching people that are starting to like tie into that, right? Because you can sit on the sidelines all the time and you can just be that person. And it's one of those, you don't know what you don't know sometimes. And it's like just inviting, like you said, more people and encouraging them to come, because you watch it on their faces and then you see that they're different when they leave. Like now they're different. They are changed by participation. And I think that's where that whole virtual brokerage, people are scared of it. And you have to jump in there yourself. You have to get on the calls. You have to go to these things, and that will change your life and change your mindset. So I think it's just great seeing, like, we had a lot of people from our area come, and some of them are on this call.
Yeah.
Like they're on this call, and I think that their lives are going to be completely different now from here on out, because they're plugging in.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see that, it changes my mindset again, and it makes me more excited. I mean, I've already called multiple people that I was in touch with prior, but I hadn't brought up, hey, you need to get here to EXP. And it just, that law of attraction, we heard that a lot from the stage. And it was like,
I'm looking at all my notes here.
I'm feeling that attraction. If you bring it into your life, you're going to bring the bad or bring the good. So what are we going to bring? Like this morning, I had an issue, but looking at all of you guys and hearing Clark and hearing you, guess what? My day, like I'm getting ready to go to a closing in like 2 minutes and I have to leave. But I wanted to be on here, and this is why, because now I'm positive and I want to impact somebody else positively in their day. And if we just pay it forward, that's what I got and what I get from those conferences. So that was a big one for me.
So there was one quote, and I know you're going to leave, Michelle, and then we're going to jump on to some other people. It's okay to be, this was Matt Plummer. It's okay to be where you are as long as you don't stay there.
Right.
Getting stuck is so easy to do. We can make every excuse in the world. And we don't have to stay there, guys. We get to keep moving And when you move forward, it's that momentum that you bring. It pushes that philosophy, that airplane that's taken off on that runway is just, you're unstoppable. You are absolutely unstoppable. And I'm glad you brought up the manifestation, because almost every single person up there was talking about mindset and manifestation. How many times did we talk about this on the call? Is you can manifest anything. You've got to believe in yourself, though. And you can't do it with an ego.
No,
So,
out the door.
Michelle, you get to go to a closing and look at
Yes.
the impact. You got someone a dream.
I know it's a good day, and you guys are awesome, and let's all go be the bright light today. I'm so excited. So I will see you guys next Wednesday.
Perfect.
See you later. Bye.
Okay, good. Samia, did I say it right? No, jeez. Do it again.
Samia.
Samia, I've been practicing. I
That's
just spent
all right.
the week with her. Okay, jump in. 'cause
Margaret.
You were Margaret, I know. You were everywhere. You were networking, you were talking to people, you were in the front, you were taking notes. I'm sure you've got a lot to share here.
Well, thank you. I'm not I'm not an I person. So when I go to an event like that, I have to step out of my comfort zone. But the networking was great. I love the setup. This was my first event after EXPCon where I joined. And I love the format of having the training, the education in the morning and the networking in the afternoon, because that's where you can connect with people in a very casual environment. And I was actually surprised that people weren't exchanging cards. I thought I didn't have enough cards. So that surprised me a little bit that people were not looking at referrals. And I'm like, no, I'm here to gain access and get to know people I can refer business to, whom I can refer business. But so whenever I met somebody, I just went on chat and then I sent them a note because I knew I wasn't going to remember everybody's name. But some of the pearls, shall we say, and by the way, Gary Keller was a realtor, so be careful when you say
Yes.
that Glenn is the only CEO who ever practiced. He may have not practiced for a long time, but just remember that so we don't get people to call us on our statements. And there was a statement made by somebody that I totally disagreed with, where he said, it's not a culture, it's a community. And I think culture means so much more to me than community. Because
Interesting.
out of the culture, you get community, right? You can't have community without a culture. Or I can have a homeowner association, that's a community, but that doesn't mean I have culture with these people. It just means I'm there because they're part of my homeowner association, right? So I'm glad you guys are still using culture, because a lot of people next to me were like, oh, no. We need to keep the culture. What Jean said on the first day, I thought was very valuable, very simple. Small minds discuss others. Good minds discuss events. Great minds discuss ideas. And then he added, brilliant minds create the future. And I think that's what we need to focus, because talking about KW, about Remax, I've been with all these companies and I don't want to be a negative person. I want to highlight what we're about. And my takeaways are, because I'm in EXP Luxury, is I'm going to start connecting with people I want to engage in our company on the luxury level. So I'm going to take some of my friends' listings and do the luxury presentation folder and send it to them and say, this is how you can present yourself to your clients.
That's great. So talk a little bit more about luxury, because we don't discuss that enough here.
Oh.
What makes our luxury different?
Well, our luxury tools are just that's one of the reasons I joined EXP. When I went to that booth, and I looked at the quality of the materials and the presentation, I went, wow, because it's not about the price range. It's about the quality and the image that you're sending. I've always been about branding myself, and Pete Middleton and Jana were there, and they did a session with Michael Valdez. And then we had dinner together with one of the people Jana was recruiting, who's a really good friend. And I was hoping that he could see. Unfortunately, he got into business because his mom passed away and his mom had the business. And he goes, I don't have that fire to get up every morning. But he did come to Cabo.
That's huge.
He is
If
from
you don't get
Maine.
a fire after that.
He is from Maine. So Cabo in March, when you're from Maine, that's probably a good thing to do. But I could see it in his eyes. He came to the sessions. He connected with luxury. Pete Middleton has a different view than Janie Coffey about luxury. Janie believes you don't need the fancy car, you don't need the fancy clothes. Pete Middleton and Jana believe in the other.
Can I interrupt on that for a second, please?
Course.
Okay, that is all going to determine where your
market is.
Where your market is. Thank you. Because when I was in Rhode Island, and I mean, like, I was 16 years with KW, guys. I got the best education of my life, and I will be forever grateful for that opportunity. And it's like, okay, now I've graduated, I'm going on to the next. And when their luxury was rolling out, it was probably one of the best ones at the time, and things evolve. My point is, what is luxury in Rhode Island at 500,000 is not going to be the same that you're going to do where the average price point for a luxury home is 10, 20, 30 million, where you're renting homes for 20,000 a month.
Yeah.
So I think you have to know your audience. And what I like is that we have both. You just don't have to be in a glitzy car and dressed in Chanel or whatever. No. You can, and this is really important. I'm just so happy you brought this up. Dress to what your culture is.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And then you will connect with those people.
I used to dress in my suits working with .com people, and I could tell they're uncomfortable. And so I said, okay, I'm going to dress down after our first meeting. Don't worry. And I just would come and mirror what they're wearing so that they're not uncomfortable. So absolutely, you need to make that first impression. The luxury to me is the image, the quality, and I'm branding everything luxury because that's what I like. I love the colors. I love the black with the gold. But the point I'm making is the other part of our luxury that, people keep adding things to our platform, and you guys should check it out. There's a EXP Luxury Explained every Thursday, and it's open to everybody. And if you want to bring people who are in that market, you could just invite them to that.
Great idea.
The other thing is Global Marketing Agent, which I want to thank Peggy for exposing me to that.
That's Ashley. I got to give kudos to Ashley on that.
Ashley,
brilliant.
Thank you. But it was one of my first Wake Up Wednesdays, and I went, wow, this is also a great recruiting vehicle because you don't have to be EXP to join global marketing. So it's a nice way to kind of get your foot in the door with somebody who does luxury but isn't sure. I sent a text to one of my friends who was visiting and who was in their home in San Martin. I said, hey, by the way, we have a listing around the corner from where you're staying. Have you seen it? And he goes, what? I said, yeah, we can market all over the world. And his wife called me the next day, said, tell me what? How you doing this? What is global marketing? And so now she's talk because they're retiring, but their daughters are working the business. She said, I want my daughters to look at this. So that gave me another idea that I shared with Dawn yesterday, Dawn Hobbs, and let's look at the people, because I've been in business almost 40 years. I'm going to start looking at the people who have their kids in the business, who may not be open to change, but their kids will maybe driving them to the change. I heard so many people say, oh, my daughter wanted to move from this to KW because of their training. My son wanted to move to Compass because of the technology. And I'm like, light bulb just went off. So I should start talking to the children. Not, they're not children, but the people's kids who are in their business, because they may be more open to what we have.
Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. If you have not jumped on the luxury, there are so many things out there that honestly I'm not totally familiar with. And I think that's the other thing that we keep talking about. There are different programs now for talking to teams or talking to independent brokerages. Yeah, that's exactly it. Is doing all of that. Thank you. Is there one other thing? Because I want to get to Kevin and Stacy and then everybody can jump. Is there anybody?
The monthly meeting idea I'm going to implement that Brent talked about is having an agnostic get together of people in your community and inviting them to talk about real estate. And this is my year to give back. I've already announced that to a lot of people. You know, I'm taking a page out of Jack Cotton, if you know who he is, celebrating 50 years in real estate, and he's giving away his luxury tools. And I'm almost 40 years in the business, and I want to reconnect with people after COVID, after all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to use that as my entree to invite people to coming to a happy hour and see who shows up. Maybe one person, maybe nobody, and then keep it going and see what happens. So I'm shutting up that.
No, you don't have to shut up. Love it. That was great. Kevin and Stacy, are you guys on? Or...
Yes, yeah, my camera doesn't work. I don't know what happened, but somewhere
okay.
in Mexico it got a virus or something. I don't know. Yeah, so we're here.
So talk to us about your experience. I mean, we spent a lot of time together, and you met a lot of. Kevin talks to everybody, and he even talks to those people that call you on the scam calls. But anyways, Kevin, and Stacy, talk about some of the things that you got out of this.
So, I mean, this is our third year to Cabo. We try to make most of the EXP events. Last year was a little rough. Stacy's mom was not well, and anyway, all that being said, we did Cabo last year, but since then we hadn't done any of the events. So this was a great way to get back into the events and get that mindset adjustment and little spark that you need. I mean, we come back and it's been nonstop. We're both exhausted. But yeah, the events are
so what were some of your biggest takeaways? Because you had a lot to talk about in Cabo.
I got a lot to talk about all the time. I'm an introvert, but I can't convince people of that. Biggest takeaway, gosh. I've heard Michael Valdez say about the India agent talking about how we're built for humanity. It's pretty impactful. When you think about what it really means and what this person really said when he said that. The problem is we get charged up, and this is my sorry, my thoughts about it. We get charged up and we get excited and we want to tell people about it. And folks see things and hear things and everybody's talking about EXP. All the other agents are talking about EXP, about how it changed your life. And it's really hard to believe. they think you're just trying to coax them into your rev share line. That being said, I think that's what we really have to focus on, is not being that person, not being, if they stay where they're at, we've got to be okay with it. If we, Samia, if you have an event and nobody shows up, that you got to be okay with it. We actually do a weekly coffee, and we host tour every other week, and we're gonna do a trivia night, have a couple of sponsors and stuff. It's gonna actually be real estate trivia. But anyway, I digress. I think we've got to remember this, even though it's exciting to us, it may not be as exciting yet to those that we're talking to.
And you talk about, when we're talking to other people, the other thing that everybody was saying, and I when I go back to KW, they'd see you coming and they'd say, oh my God, all you're going to talk about is that profit share and try and recruit me and everything else. Don't come in it that way, guys. Be the person that's going to come of value. Always have something to give to the other person. Do not be the person that is vomiting EXP. That's not what we're about. The biggest things that were talked about was, we're a company of luxury, we're a company of production, we're a company of growth, we're a company that's changing lives, but support it with the tools that we have. Support it with the fact that when people say to you, well, do you have this, or do you have, yeah, we do. And if we don't, you know what, that's a great idea. I'm going to get a hold of so-and-so and figure out why we don't have that. Kevin, we were just like sitting there for hours that flew by. In other events, I'm usually really fidgety, or it's like, oh, I dread listening to these speakers. But we sat there and watching, we were kind of up on a level up a little bit, an elevated platform where everybody was in the audience below. And the engagement and the intensity on everyone's faces, and taking notes and wanting to learn more. This was the first time that I saw more people sitting down than I saw people out in the back. One of the things that I just want to jump in and share about is, I don't know if a lot of you know who Rick Jiha was, but he was probably one of the most influential people in real estate. His career spanned different companies. He was a coach. He had just became a grandfather. His wife, everything. We gave out the first Jiha. I'm forgetting. I keep getting the word humanitarian, but we gave out a Rick Jiha award. And it was for an agent who was recognized in the spirit of contribution, loving, giving, helping, just all around amazing. Why don't you put that on your dream board? Why don't you put that on your dream board, that you want to be like Rick Jiha? You want to be nominated for that award, because that is the greatest gift that you can give anyone, that everyone kept taking away here, is that when you ask the right questions, when you stop talking long enough to hear their answers, that's when they know you care. That's when you're going to get into alignment with everybody. Their needs are so important. It's not about you. It's absolutely not about you. And it's just, it keeps coming back to this culture, guys. We have to sacrifice. I know I said that earlier. What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to sacrifice to not only help other people, but to help your family? There were people who were dying on that stage, who had kids dying, who were willing. If you have not seen the movie Cinderella, please watch it. Are you going to fight for milk? Are you going to fight for milk for your kids? So what are you willing to do today, right now, that you're going to stand up and say, wow, this is, you can never go wrong. This is a company that has such a humanitarian mission. We talked about growth in terms of how many believe that we can be 1 million agents. How many know we're going to be 1 million agents? When you hear so many people talking about that, like it's nothing. EXP takeover, absolutely. It's nothing. And when you get all of that energy together, Farm and Ranch is coming. Were there any other divisions, Clark, that I missed on the Farm and Ranch? There were a couple other things. Oops, let's unmute you.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a luxury, well, obviously luxury story. Yeah, there's a Farm and Ranch. There was entertainment division. Huge entertainment division. So sports and entertainment. There's a green, which is the green movement. So there's a green division. I wrote them all down, but that's all I can remember off the top of my head.
Sports and entertainment, guys, is going to be amazing. Who do you know that knows somebody?
Yeah.
Right?
By the way, check out Jack Cotton. I think Samia brought him up.
Samia. Put a Y instead of it.
JackCotton.com. I checked it out online. He's
What
awesome.
is it?
Jack Cotton.
Oh, Jack Cotton. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He's giving away his book and his training.
Clark, did you have anything else in your 40-something pages of notes?
I was just looking through it. I probably should have looked at it, but I got up a little bit later than I anticipated. I don't. Let me see here. I did want to ask a question though. Where do I find information on the Thursday lecture explained?
Oh,
Yes.
If you go to your Okta.
Go to where?
Okta. EXP Okta, where you find Skyslope and all these.
Okay. Oh, so the
and you go to the luxury
Enterprise,
dashboard.
is that Enterprise?
Yes, enterprise. Yes.
Or you
Okay.
can just go to the Google not Google, and Workplace, the luxury group. It has the schedule right there in there. It's in a pinned post.
Yeah, I look. Okay, I haven't looked at the pin post. I was just looking it up on Workplace, and I found a couple of them where they were announcing, but I would imagine the link's the same every time it's a Zoom link.
Yes, same.
Okay.
Same.
Okay, so yeah.
We also are such a company of giving back. Brent Gove has an amazing organization that you can feed a child. You have no idea what $100 a month could do, or $50 a month, how many meals that could buy. I'm trying to go through some of my slides here, and Phil Stringer again was on fire.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh my gosh, this hour is already up. Okay, did I not talk to anybody that was in Cabo? Does everybody have something? Any questions? All right, so I'm going to give a plug for the retreat. We're almost sold out. And the retreat is May 6th. And if you want to know more about it, direct message me. But guys, this is at Jean and Susan's Lake House in Texas. It's going to be awesome. It's $888, and that includes your lodging, your trainers, your food. What a great event to take someone to. I mean, there's just so much going on. Okay.
I did want to mention that the other division is new development.
New development. Thank you.
So there's land and farm, sports and entertainment, green division, and new developments division.
You can find out more about all of that. I'm just going to end with today and say thank you. I'll have the speakers posted of who's coming up. I'm trying to organize that now. But today, I want you to be the hero of your story. You have absolutely no idea whose life you can impact. Go out and be that change. We're all here to support you. You guys are great. I hope you enjoyed today. And there's a lot more coming. There's more people who are going to be on over the next couple of weeks sharing their aha moments. So thank you. Well,
Sorry, Peggy. Thank you. But Clark, can you tell me your last name? I'll send you the link.
Yeah, Broome.
Thanks, Peggy.
Broome. And
Got
also, just to mention, all those talks at Cabo will be posted on brentgove.com. Go to brentgove.com under media, and it'll all be posted starting Friday.
that's huge, you guys. You get to see everything.
Oh yeah, I always rewatch them. They're just,
Yeah.
you
And
pick
the
up so much
slides-
more. Yeah.
The slides are available on cabo2024.com.
Yeah, and especially Gene Frederick's slides, a history of EXP and
The history of real estate. A little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, go be the hero of your day.
See y'all
Bye,
later.
Thank
Bye,
you.
thank you.
Thanks for jumping
Bye-bye.
on. Thanks for sharing.
Y'all be good.
Bye-bye.